Without warning, Jungkook, BTS's lead vocalist and one of K-pop's global icons, finally made a surprise statement about his big plans after his military service. But what is more astonishing is not the content of the statement itself, but the reaction of his closest friend, Jimin, who unexpectedly doubted him. Why does Jimin, the person closest to Jungkook, seem so unconvinced? Is this the beginning of conflict, collaboration, or something deeper? This news came from the 5th Division, where both are now serving a period of service. An internal source said that Jungkook, in an informal but intense conversation with Jimin, expressed his determination to embark on a music project he had never done before, a cross-genre solo work that would change the paradigm of the K-pop industry. The project, according to Jungkook, is not simply an album or collaboration, but a personal musical manifesto that will involve much more experimental visual, dance, and lyrical elements than what he once did with BTS. But Jimin's reaction immediately created a tense atmosphere among the soldiers who had heard the conversation. The source, who declined to be named, said, "Jimin is smiling, but not his usual smile." He said, "Are you sure you want to take such a big risk?" The army is shocked. The sentence immediately sparked a debate among fans. Does this mean Jimin doubts his best friend's abilities? Or just warn about the risk of unusually high public expectations of BTS members? It is known that Jimin and Jungkook have an incredible emotional closeness, known as Jungkook among fans, with chemistry that has been proven through various joint projects. However, in terms of artistic vision, they often take a different path. Jimin is more inclined towards emotional, subtle, and sentimental aesthetics, while Jungkook has been known as a multi-talented perfectionist who loves technical exploration and creative challenges. What exactly is Jungkook's plan? Based on a leak obtained from a big hit music staffer, Jungkook plans to launch a multidisciplinary project that includes not only music, but also short films, installation art, and even virtual exhibitions with AI technology. He wants to go beyond the limits of an idol, the source said. And he believes his time after enlistment is the perfect moment to start. The project will reportedly involve producers from outside Korea, including alternative musicians from the UK and Japan, as well as independent filmmakers from Berlin. Where is Jimin in all this? This is where the real drama begins. Jungkook has reportedly asked Jimin to contribute to one of the tracks on the project, but Jimin's response so far has been ambivalent. "I have to think about it carefully," he said in a closed conversation. "I don't want to just be part of something big. I want to be sure it's really authentic." This sentence implies that despite Jungkook's pride, Jimin seems to have cast doubt on the artistic direction of the project. Suddenly, the army split. Some supported Jungkook's ambitious move and called it a natural evolution for an artist of his class. But some others regret if this will cause a distance between the two BTS members who have been so compact. Speculation has arisen. Is this a sign that they will pursue their respective careers in different directions? Or is this just part of the creative dynamic of two musicians who are challenging their own limits? Interestingly, this is not the first time Jungkook has delivered experimental ideas. In several live broadcasts before enlisting in the military, he had mentioned that he was interested in exploring music that is not commercially popular, but has high artistic value. A statement that at the time sounded vague, but is now beginning to show its relevance. "I wanted to make something that even the army didn't know they wanted," he said at the time. Meanwhile, Big Hit Music chose not to provide an official comment on the leaked conversation. However, a senior label official stated that BTS members have been given complete freedom to determine their art direction post-enlistment, and we stand ready to support all of their forms of expression, both individual and group. This statement reinforces the belief that major projects are being prepared behind the scenes, and Jungkook may be spearheading the first wave of BTS post-military era. However, what caught the public's attention was not the content of the project, but Jimin's facial expression when he heard it. A fellow soldier described it as a mixture of pride, worry, and doubt. This has led many to speculate that Jimin is not only considering the musical aspects, but also the personal and emotional implications. It could be that he is afraid that this project will change the dynamics of their relationship, which has been built on trust, collaboration, and deep understanding. Now, the big question hangs in the air. Will Jimin join the project? Or will he choose his own path, following his more intimate and personal vision as in his solo album, Face? And if they choose a different direction, will this be the beginning of BTS's fragmentation as a group? Or will it be the expansion of each member's creativity that strengthens them collectively? One thing is certain. The K-pop world is holding its breath. Jungkook's big post-enlistment plan is not just an art project, but a symbol of an important transition in BTS's career. It is a moment in which the future direction of the members begins to be individually mapped, and in which the closeness built over a decade begins to be tested by different ambitions and idealisms. The fans can only wait. Waiting for whether Jimin's skeptical voice will turn into support. Waiting for whether Jungkook's project will be a revolutionary masterpiece or a controversial experiment. And most importantly, waiting to see if these two best friends will again walk hand in hand on a bigger stage or choose to step on separate paths that remain respectful of each other. Until that time comes, one thing remains unchanged. ARMY's love and care will always be with them in every choice, in every work. Jungkook had already thrown a stone at the calm surface of the water. The ripples are now spreading, and the world can only ask, how big will the waves be after this? Jungkook has dropped a huge bomb amid the euphoria of BTS members' return from military service. His admission of wanting to put off active involvement in BTS in favor of focusing on personal projects, including the world of film and production, does sound like a story of individual courage wanting to come out of the group's shadow. But is this really a purely idealistic move of an artist? Or maybe this is part of a big narrative deliberately shaped by the media to trigger a stir? The question is Jungkook really saying all these things? Is it true that Jimin openly expressed his doubts in the live broadcast? Or are we all being part of a big scenario polished in such a way as to look authentic? The information circulating today does come from various sources: TikTok, YouTube Shorts, live streaming pieces, to podcast snippets on Twitter, X. But none of them can be considered definitive evidence without direct confirmation from HYB's agency. In today's digital age, manipulation of video clips, free interpretation of gestures, even audio snippets can be edited in such a way as to create the illusion of truth. So we should ask, are we being victimized by a perception game? What about Jimin? Did he really doubt Jungkook? Or was the viral short cut from the real context? In the world of K-pop, where every idol's sentence can become a headline, distortion of meaning is very easy to happen. Not a few soldiers stated that Jimin's statement was actually just a form of concern as a friend, not rejection. But can our interpretation of Jimin's facial expressions and tone of voice be used as a reference to the truth? We also have to ask, is it true that Jungkook is planning to leave BTS, or is this just a discourse experiment to see how the market reacts? Many entertainment companies use soft controversy tactics to increase exposure and rekindle public interest in artists who are in a vacuum. Is this what is happening now? Another fact: South Korea's entertainment industry relies heavily on strong narratives. Every step of a great artist like Jungkook has usually been calculated and designed in as much detail as possible.